Greetings, folks. Today we're going to talk about a game on the PlayStation 1, the Alien Trilogy game. It's a first person shooter. It was, I think, originally a long box game that came out during kind of the first initial launch of the PS1, so it's a very early game. Um, I really just want to talk about this game and kind of bring this game up because I am a massive Aliens fan, mainly the first and second films. This game, when it first came out, I was crazy about getting it. I wanted it so bad, I ended up getting it. And that's kind of what I'm getting to with this vid. Back then, it was a cool game, a great game. But first person shooters were like brand new to consoles back then. They were all about the PC. PC was really the only thing you could pull them off on with a keyboard and mouse. Well, with the PlayStation coming out with the dual analog controllers later on in the PS1's life, shooters got a little bit easier, but they still were relatively a pain on the consoles. Nobody ever really got first person shooters right, in my opinion, on a console until Bungie come out with Halo on the OG Xbox. But anyway, this game, dark, and I mean dark. I've got this thing, my PlayStation 1, running through my RetroTink, so I've got the brightness turned up a little bit. I realized that in an alien type game, you want it dark, but this game is so dark, you could not differentiate the aliens themselves from the background and foreground. Everything was just so dark. Ridiculously dark, like I'm saying. So anyway, I had to turn the brightness up to where I could even see what I'm doing. And some of the video footage you're going to see, you'll even notice that yourself. It's going to go from a very, very dark thing to a lighter thing when I went into the settings later and brightened it up. So the visuals themselves aren't that awesome, but they look good enough for the time. The brightness, like I said, that is a problem. Extremely dark. Strafing, like we're used to in modern first-person shooters. This game was a very early one, so in its infancy, they were still trying to figure out how to even do first-person shooters on consoles. So when you hold the strafe button to go left or right, it's more like a casual jog to the left or right. It basically serves you no purpose. I found playing this game, if I just kind of stood still a little bit and just kind of moved forward and back and moved with the aliens movement to shoot it, I killed them easier than trying to strafe them and run around them. It really, really struggles in that department. The intro FMV really is the biggest draw of the game because it is a throwback to the James Cameron's Aliens, where they're coming down off the Sulaco, landing on, I think it was Hadley's Hope. Was the name of the base they were landing on in the second Alien film. It's that whole little sequence, you coming into the base and all that and seeing the rubble. It's cool, especially for the time. But the game itself, I think I got to the 5th or 6th level this time playing around, and I just don't know if I can do much more. I mean, it's a cool game, but I would really only recommend you playing this game if you're a massive Alien fan. There's nothing really beating a keyboard and mouse as far as a shooter goes during the era this game came out. Nowadays, where consoles and PCs are kind of even as far as controls go, it's just a matter of preference now. But back then, it was almost a must you use a keyboard and mouse. By the time the Dreamcast came out and I was playing Quake on it and such, I had bought the Dreamcast keyboard and mouse just for shooters because it works so much better than the controller. And I know I keep harping on that, but that is really one of the big drawbacks of this game. I mean, it's fun and all that kind of stuff, but the controls really irk you. I mean, it's the hardest part of it. It's not so much they're bad in a functioning manner. They didn't know how to do them back then right. So it's kind of hard to fault the developer and criticize the game when really there was no standards created yet to operate within to produce a good FPS back then. I think there was a game after this, like Alien Resurrection or something like that. I remember coming out on the PlayStation, and I think it was much better because I did have it, and I think by that time they'd already figured it out a little bit. But really, if you're into Alien and you dig playing some old school games and such as that, and you want to get into the Alien franchise games, it's hard to beat the AVP series on PC, the first and second one. I do believe one of them came out on the OG Xbox. I don't know which one, but I know on the PC there's like three versions. You got Alien versus Predator 1, 2, and 3. And in each of those games, you get to choose between the Colony Marines, the Predator, or the Alien. Just they're all around way better games, you know. But really, like I said, the only reason I bring these up is I'm a massive Alien fan, and if you are too, this might be one of a game you want to check out. If you're not all into Aliens and you could care less about the franchise, you would probably definitely want to pass on this one. But either way, appreciate you guys checking out the vid. I know it ain't much of one, but just kind of wanted to talk about this game a little bit because it's one that, I don't know. As an Alien fan, I dig it, but if you ain't an Alien fan, I'd pass. But anyway, you guys have a good one. Later.